everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica, also known as Chicprofessor on Instagram, and I make videos on luxury goods, the pre-loved market, sustainable fashion, and workwear. Today's video is going to be a review of this bag, which is the Prada Cuir twin bag, and this is the large size. I think this bag is beautiful and it has a lot of pros, but it also has a lot of cons. And I'll also do a quick review and comparison with this bag right here, which is just the Lux Tote. This is in the large size as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So first you can see that they are similar shapes. They are both Saffiano leather. They're both absolutely stunning bags. They both have this one has gold hardware, this one has silver hardware, but they both have the Prada emblem in the triangle in the middle, as well as some other hardware. This on D-rings, and this one does not have D-rings, but it has the top closure, which has the silver hardware. Another big difference is obviously that this one has a closure, and this is an open tote at the top. So that is one of the biggest differences. Both a large size, but a little bit different. Another really big difference is going to be the weight. This one weighs quite a bit more. The leather is still thin, like the other one. Saffiano leather is often thin, but because of the closure and the size of this bag, it is wider. It definitely adds a little bit more weight than the other one has. They both have a clochette, though this one is an ID luggage tag and it says Prada on this side, and this one is just a plain clochette with a key ring. It doesn't say Prada or anything on it, so this one has a little bit more hardware in that respect as well. Neither one of them have 5 feet. They both have 4 feet on the bottom. These are in silver to match the rest of the hardware. And then this one has 4 gold feet. Now, this one I've had for a while, so the corners are a bit dirty, and it is a white bag, so it is going to get dirty, whereas this is newer. You may see, though, that even though this one might have a little bit of structure loss, and it does have a bag organizer, a liner inside of it, but it had a little bit of structure loss before that, not a ton. This one has quite a bit of structure loss at the bottom. Now, I bought this pre-loved, so I don't know how much it had been used before I bought it, but it is a newer bag than that one, and those corners, that's what gets me. It's the shape of this bag, it's the size of this bag, how big it is, that I think causes it to bow right there. There's just something about that that annoys me. So that is actually my biggest complaint. I think that that takes away from the professional look of this bag. I also don't love that it is not D-ring handles, that they stick up all the time. That makes it a little bit harder to store and that sort of thing. The handles are also a little bit heavier. They just feel a little bit heavier, but it might just be because the bag feels heavier. So my biggest complaints with this bag are the structure loss, the heaviness of it, and also it's just bigger than I need. So the size of it is a little bit of a downside for me. So this is how you get into it. I could lock these and then unlock, and then I just flip it open, and there is another piece of leather inside which holds that one down. Then you open it all the way up, and I have an organizer in the front part of this pocket as well, but you can see it also has a middle divider, which has another large bit of hardware. That's a big zipper and a big zipper pull. And then it has a zip pocket and a slip pocket on the side. This side also has 2 slip pockets. We'll do a close-up of it when I show you the 2 side by side. So it has quite a bit more hardware to it in general, whereas this one, even though the liner is covering part of it, it has nothing in the middle. It does have the ability to open up the sides with a snap, but it has the same zip and slip pocket, and then on this side there are 2 slip pockets. So it is the same internal layout, except that it doesn't have that middle divider, which again makes the other bag a little bit more heavy. The closure for this one is just this little snap, which honestly only works okay. I find that if I'm carrying folders, they push up right against it, and so it makes it a little bit harder to clasp, so most of the time I just leave this one open. So some people might like these little middle dividers. This one also does have the ability to expand and make this even larger. Of course, you can't close it at that point, but if you wanted a really, really large bag, you do have the option to do that. I mean, look how big just that one half of it is, just that one side. So I think that is kind of my general outlook on the two of these, and then I'll show you it too in more detail in just a second. I do want to say I think this is a stunning bag. Grace from Grace in Her Handbag said, like, this is the kind of bag you like get out of a cabin and go to a fancy meeting. And you know, I am a professional woman, but my workplace is much more casual than this bag necessarily demands. This is kind of a really like executive tote. It's not the executive tote. Prada has an executive tote, but it just looks really polished and put together. And what I love most about this bag is the color. I looked for this color red for years, basically, in a tote that works. So I don't love this bag because of the things I told you about before, the structure and the weight, and it is much bigger than I need. I really only need half of it. I only need one side. I don't need both sides of it. But I have to find another one this color, I think, before I'm ready to get rid of it, because I just absolutely adore this color. I think it is stunningly beautiful. So now let's do the close-up. Okay, so now for a close-up of these two bags, I feel like this bag is, this one right here, is really, really giant compared to this one, but it's actually fairly similar in size. They're almost only a ½ inch off in most directions. So this one is 10 inches tall. This is 10.5. Of course, the hardware is a little bit higher and the handles don't go down. But the actual bag is just a hair taller. This one is 13 inches long and this one is 14 inches long. In terms of the width, this one is just under 7 inches. It's basically 7 inches. And this one is also around 7 inches, but it's actually just over. And because it gets a little floppy, it tends to stick out a little bit more. So it's a little closer to 7.5, but they're basically the same dimensions, which is funny to me because this one just feels really giant with all my stuff in it, but it's because of the organization of it. So again, this one is just an empty pit, and I will take these out in just a minute. I'm going to do a video about my bag organizers. So if you have any questions that you want me to address with those, please let me know. But let me go ahead and take these out so you can see the inside a little better. So here this one is without the organizers. It has the 3 slip pockets as well as the nice big zip pocket. So it is just kind of an open pit, and I have done other bags where I show you what fits inside, so I'm not going to do that with this one. And I have shown you that this one fits a folder, but let me take the organizer out of this one and show you the inside. Here's the inside of this one. As you can see, it is black inside, so it's a little bit harder to find everything, and it is also leather lined. This one is the beige interior, and it is also fabric lined, which helps the weight, but also the beige definitely helps you find items a little bit faster. This one also has the 3 slip pockets. It has the 2 on this side and then the 1 on this side, as well as the back zip, which is about the same size. But it also has this middle compartment, and this middle compartment is quite a large zipper. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the bag, and it is quite weighty. It's quite heavy with the extra leather trim as well as leather lining, and then this is fabric lined inside, so that is good to know at least. But the zipper is big and heavy, so definitely adds to the weight of the bag, and for me, honestly makes the bag slightly less functional. I thought it would be helpful to have a divider, but I find that my stuff doesn't kind of evenly fit on one side. If I want to divide like school stuff versus personal stuff, it doesn't divide evenly. So I just find that I'm kind of stuffing both sides, or that I could basically fit everything I need on just one side, and so it is just more room than I need. Whereas this one, when I use it, I don't really find that I have a ton of extra room. Like, I certainly could add more things, but I don't choose to. So it's interesting, since they are almost a similar width, it's just sort of the organization that makes this one almost feel like it's way more than I need. Last quick thing I want to mention before we close out is just a little like gripe I have with Prada, I guess. I mean, I love Prada, so it's not necessarily Prada. A lot of companies do this. When you have these top handle designs, and like I can almost get this on my shoulder, but if I'm wearing a coat, I really can't. And if the bag is this big and this heavy, I just feel like it should have a detachable strap. And I know a lot of them do not. A lot of the smaller bags do. They have like crossbody straps, and yes, this size would look ridiculous crossbody, but a shoulder strap would make a really big difference to the weight of it. Of course, it would add more hardware to put in a shoulder strap, but it would make it more comfortable to carry. And I just feel like that is a kind of a missed opportunity that companies should have. I think about my Fendi Toujours bag. It just has a detachable shoulder strap, but it's a nice, thick, comfortable strap, which is really only used for commuting, but it can make a really big difference. So that is another little gripe of mine. But tell me, would you keep this? Would you not? I love the color. I'm not ready to get rid of the color necessarily, but I would love to find a different version. Every year I look at the ones Prada has made, and what I really want is this bag, but with a zip top closure. I know that the double zip has 2 zip top closures, but I really kind of like a big open area. I don't really like in the double zip that you've got these 2 enclosed areas, but then everything else is open. I'd rather the whole thing close. So that is my ideal thing. This color, which they do make this one in this color, but with a zip top, that would be perfect. It would be lightweight, comfortable, beautiful. That's what I want. I don't need this big giant thing with all of this extra hardware. So that's what I'm hoping I will eventually find. A lot of the Prada totes are a little too small for documents, so I do need the large ones like this, but that is my hope. That is my hope one day. We will see if that happens. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about this bag or the comparison of the two, please do let me know, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.